I can't find her. My daughter, she's gone. She is all I have, all I breathe for, all I wake for. Without her, I am a hollow room, a clock with no hands, a name no one calls. In the quiet outskirts of Umuaka, a village nestled between rolling hills and red clay roads, lived a woman named Ugochi. Just 6 months after marrying the love of her life, Obinna, tragedy struck. He was involved in a fatal car accident on his way back from a business trip to Onitsha. Ugochi's world collapsed. The joy that once filled her eyes dimmed. She was 27, a young widow, with nothing to live for. Friends tried to comfort her, but she cried herself to sleep every night. Just when the weight of sorrow was about to consume her, she fainted during a routine market run. A test at the local clinic revealed she was 3 months pregnant. That single news sparked a new fire within her. Though still broken, she made a vow to live for her unborn child. "I'll name her Nkemdalim," she whispered, "because she is all I have left in this world." Ugochi gave birth to a beautiful baby girl with skin like polished mahogany and eyes that sparkled with innocence. She named her Nkemdalim, meaning "what is mine stays with me." The birth brought healing. Though Ugochi still missed Obinna terribly, Nkem became her heartbeat. She returned to work as a theatre nurse in Enugu City and poured every ounce of energy into raising her daughter. Ugochi had no social life, only work and Nkem. As the years passed, Nkem blossomed into an intelligent and respectful girl. But behind her bright smile, Ugochi began noticing signs of loneliness. Her daughter would often sit quietly, gazing out of the window with empty eyes. Ugochi tried to fill the emotional void with gifts, books, toys, even a tablet. But the spark in her daughter's eyes never truly returned. Though Nkem never complained, Ugochi knew her daughter was missing something important: companionship. One Saturday afternoon, a black SUV pulled into the compound next to theirs. A wealthy family had moved in, Mr. and Mrs. Okeke, owners of a tech company, with their 3 sons, Chisholm, Chibuzo, and Chike, identical triplets around Nkem's age. The once silent compound now echoed with laughter and football kicks. Ugochi noticed a change in Nkem almost immediately. She smiled more, ran to the window every evening, and watched the boys play with a glint of hope. Curious, Ugochi joined her one day and saw the boys laughing, passing a football among themselves. "Mama, can I go and talk to them?" Nkem asked softly. Ugochi hesitated. "Nkem, they are boys. They may be rough," she said. "But I could read with them." "I don't want to be alone anymore," Nkem replied. Her voice cracked gently. Ugochi's heart sank. She saw her daughter's pain and knew she couldn't ignore it anymore. After several days of pleading, Ugochi finally agreed. "Let's visit the Okekes this Sunday. We'll greet them properly." Nkem's eyes lit up. She quickly picked out her neatest dress and brushed her hair to perfection. Ugochi carried a basket of plantain chips and groundnuts to present as a welcome gift. Mrs. Okeke, whose name was Kayoma, opened the door. She was elegant, confident, and kind. "Welcome, you must be our new neighbors," she said warmly. The living room was richly furnished with expensive furniture and art. Ugochi and Kayoma hit it off almost immediately, their conversation flowing naturally. When the triplets came down, they greeted Ugochi and Nkem politely. Well-mannered boys, Ugochi thought. Nkem beamed with excitement and begged to play with them. Kayoma encouraged it. Ugochi still hesitated, but Kayoma reassured her, "They're harmless. And I have a nanny watching them always." Ugochi nodded, slowly surrendering her fears. The next day, which happened to be a public holiday, Ugochi was called in for an emergency surgery at the hospital. She panicked, she had no one to leave Nkem with. Then she remembered Kayoma's offer. "Nkem, let's take you to Mrs. Okeke's house," she said. "Really, Mama?" "Yay." Nkem jumped up excitedly. They walked over to the Okeke's apartment and were welcomed by the house nanny, Auntie Ego, who smiled and nodded. "No problem, madam. I'll watch her. She can play with the boys," Ego said. Ugochi knelt to her daughter's level. "Be good. Don't stress anyone. I'll be back soon," she said. Nkem nodded, clutching her mother's palm before letting go. Ugochi left with a sigh of relief. Back at the Okeke house, As soon as the door closed, Auntie Ego's demeanor changed. She dropped her warm smile. "Sit and watch TV. Don't bother me unless you're dying," she snapped. The boys were sprawled on the floor, glued to a PlayStation game. Nkem sat quietly beside them, her tummy rumbling. After a while, she whispered, "Auntie Ego said you should give me food if I'm hungry." Chisholm grunted without looking at her. Later, Nkem waited. Minutes turned to hours. She tried telling Chibuzo and Chaik too, but they ignored her. She picked up the small emergency phone her mother gave her, dialed several times, but it kept ringing without answer. She began to cry silently. Her stomach tightened. She tiptoed into the kitchen hoping to find something, but the place was spotless and the fridge empty. She remembered how her mother always made noodles when she was hungry. "I can try," she thought. Nkem brought out a pot, placed it on the gas cooker, and twisted the knob. Only a click echoed. No flame. Confused, she tried again. Click. Nothing. She left the gas knob on without realizing it. Frustrated, she ran back to the boys' room. "I'm hungry," she yelled. "You're such a baby," Chaik snapped. "Go cry to your mama." Angry and starving, Nkem slumped into the couch. The boys, irritated by her cries, finally stood up. Chisholm checked the kitchen. "There's nothing here," he said. Chibuzo added, "Auntie Ego is not back." "What do we do?" Chaik shrugged. "Let's go buy snacks from the kiosk down the street." "We don't have money," Chibuzo replied. "Daddy left some money in the drawer," Chisholm said with a mischievous grin. They grabbed the cash and left the compound, excited to escape Nkem's whining. What none of them realized was that the gas had slowly begun to fill the house. No one turned it off. As they laughed and skipped to the nearby street shop, destruction waited quietly behind them. Just as they reached the kiosk, a thunderous blast shattered the calm of the neighborhood. The ground trembled. Glass from nearby buildings shattered. People screamed. The boys looked back in horror. Black smoke rose from their compound. "Was that our house?" Chaik asked, trembling. "I think it was," Chibuzo whispered. "Wait. Where is Nkem?" Chisholm asked in panic. They had left her behind. Shocked and terrified, the boys scattered in different directions, unsure of what to do. Soon, neighbors rushed to the scene with buckets and fire extinguishers. Firefighters came in shortly after. The Okekes were called at their office. When they arrived and found their house reduced to rubble, Kyoma screamed in disbelief. "Where are my boys? Where's Nkem?" she cried. Her triplets were found standing near the compound gate, shaking, speechless. Safe. But Nkem was nowhere to be seen. When Ugochi arrived from work and saw the chaos, she dropped her bag and ran barefoot toward the ashes. "Where is my child? Where is Nkemdelim?" she screamed. Kyoma, in tears, tried to explain, "We can't find her." The boys said she ran in another direction. Ugochi fell to her knees, clawing at the earth. "I gave you my heart, my child," she wailed. People tried to hold her back from running into the debris. "Leave me. Let me find her," she screamed. But there were no signs of Nkem. The police were called. A missing person case was filed, but they advised them to wait 24 hours before escalating. Ugochi couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. The silence of her apartment was louder than any siren. Her soul ached with guilt. "What if I never see her again?" She whispered into the night, staring at her daughter's empty bed. Kyoma and her husband visited Ugochi the next evening. Their eyes were swollen from crying. "We're sorry. We didn't know Auntie Ego had been leaving the children unattended. We trusted her," Kyoma sobbed. Ugochi sat on the couch, numb. She didn't respond. She clutched Nkem's favorite doll, rocking slowly. "Please forgive us," Mr. Okeke said. But Ugochi said nothing. Her world was frozen. The Okekes left, unsure what else to say. Later that night, as the room echoed with silence, a soft knock landed on the door. Kyoma rose from her couch to open it. Her eyes widened. "Ugochi, come. Come quickly." Ugochi rushed to the door, heart pounding. And there, standing in tattered clothes, barefoot and dusty, was Nkem. Yugochi froze. Her legs nearly gave way beneath her. Nkemdilim, she whispered. The girl stood quietly, tears running down her dust-covered face. Yugochi let out a guttural cry and rushed to embrace her. She fell to her knees and wrapped her arms tightly around her daughter, sobbing uncontrollably. I thought I lost you. I thought. I'll never forgive myself, she cried. Nkem held her mother tightly. I got scared, Mama. When the explosion happened, I ran the other way. I didn't know where to go, she said. Kyoma, standing at the doorway, burst into tears and thanked God for bringing the child back. The neighbors came out one by one, some kneeling in praise. Yugochi carried Nkem inside. She couldn't stop touching her, as if afraid she'd disappear again. That night, she didn't sleep. She just watched her daughter as she lay beside her, breathing in peace once more. The next morning, Yugochi gently stroked Nkem's hair. My baby, where did you go? How did you find your way back? Nkem sat up slowly. After the loud noise, everyone ran in different directions. I couldn't find the boys. I ran and ran, but I didn't know where I was. I cried, Mama. Yugochi's heart ached. Nkem continued, later, I sat in front of a shop. The woman there gave me rice and water. She asked me where I lived, and I told her I was lost. She took me to the police station. The police brought me back to the estate gate just before it got dark. Yugochi closed her eyes and whispered a prayer. Whoever that woman is, may God bless her generation. She hugged her daughter tightly. From today, I will never leave you behind again, Yugochi said with a firm voice, tears in her eyes. That evening, Yugochi sat alone in her living room, staring at the framed photo of Obina. My love, I can't keep doing this. I can't risk our daughter's life anymore, she said aloud. The next morning, she submitted her resignation at the hospital. Her matron tried to convince her otherwise, but Yugochi had made up her mind. I need to be present for my daughter. She's all I have. It wasn't an easy decision, but Yugochi felt a peace she hadn't felt in years. She withdrew her savings and rented a small kiosk near a school in Enugu where she started selling medical supplies and basic items. The income wasn't much compared to her nursing salary, but the time it gave her with Nkem was priceless. Every afternoon, she picked her up from school herself. Nkem's smile returned, and slowly, so did Yugochi's joy. A week later, Kyoma came to visit with her triplets. She brought foodstuffs, a small envelope of money, and a heartfelt apology. Yugochi, I know we can't undo what happened, but please allow us to support you, she said gently. Yugochi hesitated. Pride stirred within her, but humility won. Thank you, Kyoma. I forgive you. You didn't plan this, she said. The boys stood behind their mother, visibly remorseful. We're sorry, Auntie. We didn't know what we were doing, Chisholm said. We should have taken better care of Nkem. Yugochi nodded. Just learn from it. Always look out for one another. Nkem ran out and gave each of the boys a shy hug. The house was filled with a peaceful silence after they left. Yugochi sat with Nkem and smiled. See, forgiveness is strength. We move forward, but we never forget the lesson. Though the fire had destroyed much, the Okekes rebuilt quickly. Kyoma took responsibility for firing Auntie Ego and hiring a trained, live-in caregiver. She became more cautious. Yugochi's business began to grow slowly. Customers appreciated her kindness, and her kiosk soon expanded into a small shop. She started supplying basic first aid kits to nearby schools. Nkem adjusted well and began excelling in school again. Every evening, Yugochi would cook while Nkem sat beside her, reading aloud or sharing stories from school. Their bond became unbreakable. They danced together to old highlife tunes on Saturdays and prayed together each night. Yugochi looked at her daughter one evening and whispered, You are the light that pulled me from the darkest night. Nkem hugged her mother. And you are the sun that warmed me when I was alone. They had both lost something, but in each other, they found everything. One day, Nkem returned from school holding a certificate. Mama, look, she shouted, running into the shop. It was a scholarship letter. She had been selected to attend an elite girls' academy for free. Yugochi screamed in joy. Chinik, You never sleep, she praised. That evening, they celebrated with fried rice and Fanta. Kyoma also came by to congratulate Nkem, bringing a school bag and supplies. This girl is going places, she said proudly. I see Obina in her, Ugochi whispered, blinking back tears. As Nkem packed for school that night, she came to her mother's bed and hugged her. I promise to always make you proud. Ugochi smiled. You already have, Nkem. More than you know. That night, Ugochi stood by her daughter's bedside and prayed for her future. She asked God to shield her from harm and let his favor follow her like a shadow. 2 months later, on a market day, Ugochi spotted a woman helping a lost boy at the main junction. Her heart leapt. She walked up to her. Excuse me. Are you the woman who found a lost girl the night of the gas explosion in GRA? The woman smiled. Yes, the girl was crying near my food stand. I couldn't leave her there. Ugochi held her hands tightly. That was my daughter, Nkemdalim. You brought her back to me. The woman teared up. She reminded me of my own daughter who passed during childbirth years ago. I just couldn't leave her. Ugochi hugged her deeply. May heaven remember you. May your kindness return to you 100-fold. She later gifted the woman a small token of appreciation, promising to support her food business monthly. Because you saved my world, she said. Years passed. Nkem grew into a graceful, brilliant young woman. She graduated top of her class, became a pediatrician, and opened a small clinic in memory of her late father. Ugochi, now grayer and slower, still sat outside the shop. She never gave up, proud of what they built. One evening, Nkem came home, knelt beside her mother, and whispered, everything I am, I owe to you. Ugochi cupped her daughter's face and replied, no. Everything you are. You became through the grace of God and your own courage. They sat hand in hand, the sun setting behind them. From pain, they had built a new life. The past had tried to break them, but love rebuilt them stronger. And in the quiet breeze that evening, Ugochi smiled and whispered to the wind, Obina. I kept our promise. I protected our child. She is the light of my life. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notifications bell so that you will be the first to get the notice for the next video. Thanks and God bless.